Hello to you, my fellow adventurer, and welcome to the Travel Inspired Podcast, powered by Creating Magic Vacations. We are your hosts, Rob and Kerri Stuart, coming to you from our studio in beautiful Windermere, Florida, right next to Disney. This is episode number 148, original air date sometime in November?
Sometime, right? Thank you so much, though, for joining us as we want to give you a quick update. But first, a special hello to those of you watching us on the Creating Magic Vacations YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you very much. So many of you know us as the hosts of the Disney Travel Secrets podcast and the founders of the travel agency, Creating Magic Vacations. We started this show, I can't believe this, over 5 years ago.
Has it really been that long?
October of 2019, which is crazy because that was just 2.5 years after we started the Disney Travel Secrets podcast. The objective of this was to share all of our non-Disney experiences, which is actually most of our travel history.
I know, which is crazy because our goal was to do a weekly show, just like we do over at Disney Travel Secrets. But this time we wanted to showcase some of the amazing destinations you can explore all over the world.
And to be blunt, we failed. As we got into COVID, we prioritized, understandably, our travel agency and our main show. That all changes right now.
Yes. So starting right now, we are committed to going back to our original goal of bringing you the best travel information, tips, and advice from our decades of exploring some of the most amazing places around the world. And we have so many more places that are on our, quote, bucket list.
Okay, I really hate that term, but it is so ingrained in our society, we're going to use it. What we really mean is what is on your must-do list, something that you may have dreamed of since you were little.
Yeah, so maybe it was something you saw on TV or maybe in a movie or maybe even a place where your family is from. A few generations removed, maybe. So regardless, though, whatever your goal is, we are here to motivate you, get you off of the couch, quit scrolling, and start traveling.
Maybe it's a movie you saw on a VHS tape.
I know, it could be.
There was a lot of inspiration.
Well, okay, so Lord of the Rings, really great movie. And that one has inspired a lot of people to go over to New Zealand.
Exactly. Or Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Let's go to Dubrovnik, which we have been to a couple times.
Well, and you even were talking about Petra the other day.
I did, because our driver...
So many movies, though,
Our driver, Sam, from Fleet Transportation, I was like, Sam, so where are you actually from? He goes, I'm from Jordan. I'm like, oh, we're going to Petra. If you don't know Petra, it was made probably famous, well, from our standpoint, we knew it, but made famous by the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, super cool, though. Again, so many places that we have yet to explore in this world.
But it's on our list.
Of course.
Okay, so what's up with travel? I guess we could say our travel state of the union.
Ooh, you sound so fancy.
I know. I wish I had a tie on.
But there is no doubt that travel has changed since COVID. And as an industry, we have never seen these kinds of numbers. We're talking record travel numbers across all segments.
I would say especially cruising, which is how we got started in the industry about 16 years ago.
And you know what? We have been together for just almost 20 years.
Are you sure?
I am. And you can say travel has been a huge part of our relationship.
I agree. And as things started to open up, I guess I'd say after COVID, we entered a phase of travel that we call revenge travel. And this is something that you and I have talked about for years. You tell me that I can't go somewhere, I'm going to go back bigger and better than ever.
And that really started with Disney in July of 2020.
It did, yeah.
They were really the first place to open up in the whole country where people could go in vacation.
Exactly. Other than Winn-Dixie, because Winn-Dixie was open like right away.
That's a grocery store for those of you listening and don't know.
Maybe Publix, Kroger, Schnucks, I don't know where you're from. So I think that mindset of revenge travel is you know, that you and I call it. It went through maybe 2021 going into 2022, I think.
And then things changed from revenge travel to we are not promised tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we all know people we knew, friends, family, coworkers that are no longer with us. And to me, COVID was kind of a nightmare wake-up call to the world that you're not promised the future.
And the mindset of traveling in general has completely changed, even before COVID taught us that crazy lesson.
So when I grew up in the 80s on the mean, hard streets of St. Louis, okay, it was middle class.
You were fine.
The streets were good. They were paved. The mindset was, and I knew in high school, I went to school in St. Louis, okay, I was like in 10th grade. I'm like, okay, so you're going to go to the University of Missouri, Columbia, Mizzou. Keep in mind, this is back when Mizzou was in the Big 8. At college, you're going to, find the woman of your dreams, get married, have kids, work until you're in your 60s, and then travel the world after you retire.
And of course, you were taking that one family trip per year. Maybe you were going to Disney, but long extended vacations were not the norm.
Well, I know for us normal people, of course, and now, especially with this whole work from home sector, we're seeing people that they're not just traveling per se, they can work remotely from any place in the world.
Yeah, and of course, we love that.
Yes, we do.
But most people are not putting off those bucket list trips now until they retire. They're just doing them.
And did you know that the United States leads the world in vacation days that are not taken?
And I think this is a crazy stat.
Sad.
So get this. In the US, Americans take the least vacation days globally, averaging only 11 days per year. And that's approximately 53% of American workers not using all their vacation time. And why? Because they have busy schedules. But a primary reason for not taking breaks is the feeling of being vacation deprived is prevalent. Approximately 53% of American workers plan not to use all their vacation time, often because they just have a busy schedule, and that's their reason for not taking a break. But the feeling of being vacation deprived is prevalent, with 65% of those surveyed expressing that, marking an 11-year high of people not taking vacation.
That's just crazy, and thankfully, for us, it's changing, and we call this job security. So for many of you and us, all we need is a good internet signal, a laptop, and a phone, and that really is the office of the 2020s.
And so what are travelers looking for at this point in travel? They want done for you, no surprises, looks like it was on social media types of vacations, right?
So no surprise that cruises and all-inclusive vacations are the most popular kinds of travel these days.
And another popular type of travel are those bucket list trips, vacations that you would normally wait until retirement or years later in the future, but not anymore.
Things like African safaris, which is very popular within our agency. Also, cruises to Antarctica, which are two things that we did not sell at all before COVID.
I know. Some of these just crazy bucket list trips are amazing. Now, remember how we said earlier that people don't want to be nickel and dime to death? So here is the perfect example.
And I just saw this the other day. So after over 50 years, Southwest Airlines is going away from their no assigned seating policy, and you probably refer to as a cattle call. And in 2025, it's going to move to assigned seating.
And you know what? That's why we rarely fly them anymore. I think the only time we fly them is if we're going to St. Louis to go visit your friends.
That is true. That is my hometown. That boarding process was totally psychological, like sitting down in that boarding area, waiting until, I'm B. Oh, but you're not B1 through 30, you're B1 through 50, 60, whatever.
I know, right?
It was psychological. Here's what we do. Don't laugh, because this actually worked.
I know. So here's what we would do is we would choose to sit in an open aisle and a window seat next to each other.
Yeah.
So nobody in between.
A window and an aisle.
Yeah.
So then we would pretend to be in a mild discussion. Yeah, that's what it was, so to speak.
Or a marital fight. Always uncomfortable, right?
And someone would only sit in our row if it was the only seat.
Yeah. I actually think that was a really good strategy. It worked. Yeah. But get this though, in other really breaking news.
This is very recent.
Very recent. Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy.
They did, and we don't know the details because to find out, we'd have to pay $50. So that's your clue.
So welcome back to the Travel Inspired Podcast, and make sure you are following or subscribe to our show because we have a lot headed your way, including some destinations you may not have even thought you needed to visit. So thanks for listening. And again, maybe even if you're watching us on YouTube.
Join us next time as we share the latest travel tech and packing tips to make your next trip even better.
And these are some of the same things and the same advice we give our thousands of Creating Magic Vacations clients.
And our best tip of all, how to never check bags again.
Yeah, super important. So until next time,
never stop exploring.